The graduation is over. The promotion has been announced. The award has been received. The elevation has been given. And the pictures have been posted. Congratulations eventually slow down. So here's the question. What happens after the applause? And that's what we're talking about tonight on the 30. Let's get started. Well, hello there, gang. Welcome to the 30. And as always, I do appreciate you taking a few minutes of your time to spend with me. The 30 is a space for meaningful conversation designed to support personal, professional, and leadership growth. Of course, the 30 is a production of the Jackman Group LLC, and I personally want to thank you again for joining me on this new episode of the 30. Do me a huge favor. Give this episode a like. And of course, drop us some comments. I would love to hear from you either during this episode or if you're watching it in replay, would love to hear from you. If you're watching us from YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. I greatly appreciate it and thank you in advance for doing that. On a previous episode, on the last episode, I had the opportunity to sit down with two members of the recently completed City of Rochester Cohort 13 Leadership Development Training. My guest was Devion and Arlo. Jalen couldn't make it because of work. And we had a great conversation. If you missed the episode, go back and watch it in replay. It was a fantastic discussion that the three of us had. And we talked about some of the things that really stood out was what did they get from or receive from the cohort? How have they grown and what's next for them? It was a fantastic episode. Go back, review it, drop us a comment. One of the questions that I asked them, which was also posed by Deputy Mayor Burns in his speech or remarks during the graduation ceremony, was what's next? And that was a question that I posed to them towards the end of last week's episode. What's next? Because sometimes we do a pretty good job at celebrating accomplishments, and we should. We should celebrate those that have excelled, have been awarded, have graduated, right? And we should do that. Here at the Jackman Group, we celebrate all of our leadership development graduates. We celebrate with the teams and organizations that we have the opportunity and the privilege to serve. And we celebrate with them when they've done something great, when they've accomplished something. And I'm sure that you do the same. You celebrate with others. When someone gets a promotion, we tend to celebrate them. When someone gets recognized for doing great work, we also celebrate them, and we should. When someone is elevated to a position, especially elevation in ministry, we celebrate them. When the entrepreneur finally launches their business, get off of the should I, could I, would I do it, and they finally went out or go on faith and launch their own business or launch a program or launch a product, we celebrate them, right? We congratulate them. We celebrate them. We said, hey, great job. Or when someone reaches a goal, we're big on goal setting here at the Jackman Group. I'm big on goal setting. Here in the 30, we talk about the importance of goals and just setting goals. We talk about that. We encourage individuals to set goals. So when someone reaches a goal that they've been working towards for months, sometimes for years, we celebrate them, and we should. We're excited for them. There's nothing wrong with giving a clap and applause and saying, job well done. Because that's where and what we should be doing. However, the applause stops. And when it stops, we always want to ask that question is, what's next? What happens next? Where do you go next? See, the moments we celebrate, the moments that we achieve something is good. But here's the thing. It's only a moment. It's not the destination. It's a moment in time, but it's not where we want to get to. And there's something about reaching a milestone. There's something about reaching a goal. There's something about accomplishing things that you've worked for, that you've studied hard for, that you paid the price, that you leave it all on the page, and now you are awarded for your hard work. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's a moment of sacrifice, a moment of study, a moment in time. And finally, everything that you've worked for, everything that you studied for comes to fruition. That moment comes. People congratulate you. Sometimes we take pictures with you. We may even see our names and lights or up on the screen. And when we reach that moment, we may get a plaque, we may get a certificate, we may get a new title. We may even post some of those moments on our social media feeds. But remember, it's a moment. And it does feel good. I can't say that it did or it doesn't. It do feel good. There's a moment where we are so excited of what we've achieved. And we should be excited about it. Because you've done well. We've done well. We've excelled. But one of the quickest ways to stop growing is to begin believing that because we've accomplished something, that means that we've arrived. And folks, remember, it's a moment in time. And when we think that we have arrived, that becomes dangerous, because recognition acknowledges something that we've done. It does not mean that there's nothing left for us to do or for us to learn. I'll say that again. Recognition acknowledges what we've done, but it doesn't mean there's nothing else for us to learn or there's nothing else for us to do. Doesn't mean that we should stop doing the things that got us to where we are now. See, that promotion doesn't mean that we've mastered leadership. That degree doesn't mean that our education is over. That award doesn't mean that every decision we make from this point forward is going to be the right one. That elevation doesn't mean that we should stop reading and studying the Word of God. That successful launch doesn't mean that the next launch will automatically be successful. And sometimes success can make us feel comfortable, can make us feel that if we've arrived. And comfort can cause us to stop doing some of the very things that have helped us to become successful in the first place. See, we stop, we become so comfortable. We become now not even trying anymore. We think that we've arrived. See, what happens, think about this. Imagine this, if you may. Think about someone who gets promoted into a place or space of leadership. Maybe yesterday you were a member of the team. You were part of the team. And now you are leading that same team. Everyone congratulates you. Your family's excited. You're excited. Your co-workers say congratulations. Your manager or your boss says, well done. You even have a new title of leader. You could have a title of being a team lead or supervisor, title of being a CEO, president. So you have a new title. Maybe you get a new office. You have a name, your name plate outside your office. So all these are positive things. Don't get me wrong. All these are positive things. We all want to succeed in life. We all want to achieve things that we desire or set out to. We all want those things, and we should set goals to achieve those things. So when we get that promotion, maybe most likely we get a bump in pay. And I hope that you do. I pray that you do. With the promotion also comes more money. But you're all set. You're excited. But guess what? The promotion is a moment. The elevation is a moment. The award is a moment in time. But if we take the same example, being promoted as a leader, now you have to lead. You have the title, but now it's time to actually lead. Now you have to lead. Let's say that you're promoted. In this example, you're promoted from being a team member to now leading the team. Now you have to lead one of your former peers, right? Someone that you were on a team with. And this person knows everything about you. They know where the bodies are buried. They know your habits, your behaviors, what you used to do. And now you're leading them. You go from being part of the team to now leading that team. And maybe this person that you're leading Maybe they went for the job. Maybe they applied for the same position that you are now leading, but they didn't get the position. You know where this is going. Maybe you were formerly, or maybe you experienced this previously, or maybe you're going through it now. You're part of a team, you're elevated, you're promoted to leading a team. And now it's that one person that went for the job, didn't get it. So now you go from the title to now leading. Difference, right? So somebody, you're setting expectations, and all of a sudden this person start to act up. Now one person that didn't get a job start to act up. Now you have a decision to make. Now you have to have a conversation that you would rather not have, that you would love to avoid. And you're thinking, now this person knows me. Why are they doing this to me? Folks, we're talking about what happens after the applause. So now you go from being applauded, being congratulated, to now you have someone that is a pain to you because they didn't get a job. So what about this? Maybe there are two people on your team that aren't getting along. Folks, welcome to leadership. Now you have to make a decision that everyone is not going to like. You were once a very popular person. Everyone loved you. You couldn't do anything wrong. And now, after the applause, you're charged with leading. The higher you go in leadership, folks, the more lonely it becomes. So that's when you discover the promotion was the moment. But now you have to lead, and guess what? Your team members, your manager or your boss, they're all looking at you and saying, okay, let's see how you handle these situations. Let's see what you do. See, leadership is what happens afterwards. Now you're called upon to actually lead. And that new leader, you have a choice to make. You have decisions to make. So suddenly you are in a position that I personally often see in many organizations. Person is promoted because they're good at what they do. But you were not prepared or equipped for the new position. You're good at what you did in your previous job. Now you're moving into a new position, which you were not prepared for, which you were not equipped for. You weren't trained or developed for. You even personally ignored your own learning, your own personal development, because you thought that you could carry the same skills, the same attributes that you once had when you were part of the team. But the higher you go, the more skills are required. Different skills are required. But you weren't prepared or equipped for those skills or for the new job. You didn't take it upon yourself, because at times not everyone, your boss or your manager, the organization, they may not invest in you. But I always tell those that I have the opportunity to train or especially coach, to let them know is that you need to invest in you. Others may not invest in you, but you need to invest in yourself. You need to take the time. You need to take the initiative to invest in yourself. Now, what does that look like? What does that investment look like? Simple, right? You can start simple. You can start to read about the areas that you want to get into. Study them. Read about them. Take your own initiative to develop you. The simple thing is just to start reading. Whether you're reading online, whether you're reading an actual book, or you're listening to books as you drive. That's the easiest thing that you can do. That's the first part, right? Is start to read about where you want to go and start studying that as opposed to where you are. Don't get stuck in where you are. Start working towards where you want to be, where you desire to be, where you set the goals that you should be. So my question to you folks, as you watch this episode or you're listening to it, is this. Step one, what are you reading? What are you studying to prepare you for the next step? Because what happens after the applause? We always want to make sure that we are learning. We're moving forward. We're studying. So that's the easy thing. That's number one. What books or what materials are you studying, are you reading to prepare you for the next step? The next part is, who are you associating yourself with? Do you have a coach? Do you have a mentor? Two different things. A coach and a mentor are two different things. Because we're looking at what happens after the applause. We're preparing ourselves for what's next. So do you have a mentor? Do you have a coach? Have you invested in a coach? See, because if you're not doing these things and you're focused on the moment, you're stopping or slowing your growth. So reading, studying, investing in yourself, investing in a coach, having a mentor. So if the organization is not willing to invest in you, depending on your goals, you want to invest in yourself. What seminars or training are you attending? I know you may say, well, Patrick, my job, my organization doesn't want to invest in me. They don't want to send me to a training. Well, my suggestion is that you look at what trainings are available and invest in yourself. You don't have to always wait for someone. You can do it on your own. Yes, you may say, well, it's going to cost me money. And listen to what I'm saying. You may say it may cost you money. You're looking at the price. You're not looking at it as an investment. When you look at it from a perspective of being an investment, now you're looking at what return am I going to get from my investment. So look at it as an investment. Don't look at it as a price or a cost. Because if you look at it from a price or cost, you'll never do it. But look at it from the mindset of I am going to receive a return on my investment. And it may be a sacrifice, but short-term sacrifice for long-term goals or long-term success. So reading books, studying, securing a mentor or coach, attending a training, seminars, preparing yourself for what's next. Because leadership is what happens after. What is next? What's next? So that's what I want you to focus on, right? I want you to look at what can be and what should be. The last thing that I want to focus on, so we talked about reading books. We're talking about securing a coach or mentor. We talked about attending a training or seminar. The other thing is being part of a community. A community that where you can learn from. A community where you are receiving, but you're also giving. A community of individuals that are like-minded, that share in your success, that's willing to challenge you, that's willing to, once you've identified what your goals are, that's willing to help you get there. What community are you a part of? And if you're not part of a community, I encourage you to be part of a community. You know, some months ago, we realized that we were short in terms of communities that I thought and our team thought that others can benefit from. So what we did, we created our community, the Impact Leaders Connect community. And I invite you to join us because our goal is to help others, like-minded people, leaders, emerging leaders, entrepreneurs, professionals, to be part of the community where we can help each other grow. And that's what it's all about. Now, the link is in our description. Click on the link to learn more about it. Because I'm a firm believer in that if you train your mind, if you develop your mind, if you start reading, if you start surrounding yourself with others, if you start developing you, investing in you, and you surround yourself with other like-minded people, growth will start happening. But you have to be intentional about it. Remember, there are moments, and then there's after those moments. So my question to you is, what's next? What's next? If you've been promoted, awarded, elevated, celebrated, those are moments. And those are great moments. Those are moments that need to be celebrated. Those are moments that needs to be encouraged. Those are moments for you to actually not just celebrate you, but celebrate those around you. And congratulations. Go forward and do great things. But remember, there's a difference between moments and what comes next. So as I leave you, I'll leave you with this question. What happens after the applause? If you can answer that, you are in a great place. You're in a great space. But if you cannot answer that, I want you to think about that. Give yourself time to think about what's next. What are your plans? What are your goals? And what are you willing to do development-wise, growth-wise, to go to the next level? I want to thank you for being here. Remember, go to the link, subscribe or register for our community, the Impact Leaders Connect community. We'd love to have you part of a community so that we can celebrate each other, encourage each other, and we can all win together. So as I end, thank you. Share this episode. Like this episode. And if you're watching us from YouTube, remember to subscribe to our channel. So until next time, until next week, may God bless you and your family. We'll see you on another episode of The 30. Be safe, everyone.